In this episode of JoJo's Anime, we'll be diving into the darkest episodes and otherwise mostly cheery kid shows. These normally mostly lighthearted shows can often delve into really serious, touchy subjects. In these said episodes, they basically have really disturbing implications, such as trauma, one of the characters revealed to be a deranged lunatic, racism, and many, many more. What? Also, I have a store, so be sure to check my description if you can. And let's get on with the video.
He fooled all of you! He's an imposter, a fake!
In the season finale of Camp Lazlo, called Olympus' Last Stand, everyone needs to get their laundry clean because they haven't washed it all summer, which is kind of gross.
Get off of the game, you stink!
So Camp Kidney decides to go to the laundromat to get their clothes freshly clean. Scoutmaster Olympus wants nothing to do with it, and he may or may not be a deranged lunatic later in the episode.
I am either a lunatic or the greatest genius the world has ever known.
So my boy Scoutmaster Olympus decides to roam free of the camp naked.
He's naked!
Basically, he just paints all over his body and calls it a day because he doesn't give a shit about laundry in the slightest. And everyone praises him for it, calling it a success and basically stopping world hunger. Huh? Just a side note, but according to Google, it doesn't really work that getting rid of clothes can solve world hunger. But I digress. Anywho, everyone at Prickly Pine started worshipping the moose like he's freaking Jesus Christ. And then moments later, a rain starts and then all the paint washes because isn't it obvious that paint washes off in the fucking rain? And the cartoon moose realizes that he's freaking naked. Ditto with the town. And all of a sudden, our boy Heifer from Reckless Modern Life had showed up.
Yeah, so?
So it turns out Scoutmaster Olympus is not actually the Scoutmaster and just some deranged mental psych ward patient. So he basically stole the Giga Chad Heifer's job. What? So he was driven to a mental institute by the ambulance.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
This incredibly jarring finale somehow makes the entire show much harsher and darker in hindsight, because it showcases that a bunch of children are hanging out with a lone sociopath. Next.
Thank you for all your help.
Don't thank us. Thank Starfire.
Thank you, Starfire. You must be one of the good ones.
We have a very special episode of Teen Titans, which is about racism. This very special episode starts off as just a simple, normal, average episode, featuring Valor, an alien being who at first glance seems like a very affable being. The main plot of this episode is that they're fighting against the dirty Locuxes, basically robotic beings who have a disdain for living creatures. When the Titans board on the ship, everything seems perfectly normal. Not until when poor Starfire makes a mistake, which causes Valor to say this disgusting line.
I don't need any help from a stupid truck.
This episode just feels very uncomfortable to watch, because some of the lines that Valor says can also be applied to real life situations. And a lot of cartoons approach racism in a very uncomfortable, very confused way. However, unlike these cartoons, Teen Titans does a really good job at portraying racism in a respectful and not questionable manner. And I do love this dialogue exchange between Starfire and Cyborg, easily one of the most underrated scenes in the entire show.
For those on other planets who feel Tamaranians are inferior, Trock is what they call us.
So he's calling you a terrible name. And you know that if you punch him out, it'll just confirm all the bad stuff he thinks about you.
Yes. You know what it feels like to be judged simply because of how you look?
Of course I do. I'm part robot. Let's go find Robin.
Perhaps we should inform Robin later.
He'd want to know now.
I just wish there were more scenes featuring Cyborg and Starfire's relationship. I like the foreshadowing to the season 5 episode called Go. So Starfire and Valor have to go together to kill the Locuxes by creating a large mine, with Valor's racist taunts getting in the way of their work. Now that they deactivate the Locuxes, everything is good for Starfire, right? Nope, because the barrier is about to kill Valor. And we easily get one of the most powerful scenes of the entire episode, and probably without a doubt one of my favorite moments from Starfire.
Take my hand!
Keep your filthy hands off me, Trot!
You may not value my life, but I still value yours!
You want Valor to die for being a racist bigot, but Starfire herself, being a true queen, is able to risk her life to save him. And now the episode ends with the Titans and Valor being on negative terms with each other, with Valor leaving and presumably hating the Titans forever. Starfire caps off in the end of the episode with such beautiful words of wisdom.
Nothing you could have done. There will always be people who say mean words because you are different, and sometimes their minds cannot be changed. But there are many more people who do not judge others based on how they look or where they are from. Those are the people whose words truly matter.
Even though this is a serious episode, I really respect the concept of a beloved hero actually being a bigoted monster, because unfortunately that's what happens in the real world, where a lot of respected celebrities and heroes of our time can actually be really terrible people. On with the last but not least dog episode. We have the episode Twisted Sister. No, not the band, silly goose. The incredibly morbid episode with the killer of one of the sisters, Bunny. So the whole premise of the episode is that the girls are really tired of fighting crime and being forced to help the entire town. So the girls are like, are you weak? How about we create another sister? Girls, you could always ask the professor because he is more smart when it comes to science than you three are. So the girls all use unstable ingredients to create an unstable sister, revealing the disgustingly deformed Powerpuff Girl Bunny. A lot of people theorize that Bunny is actually a representation of autism, while I wholeheartedly disagree with that. For two reasons. Reason number one, it's offensive. And reason number two, the episode is about accepting others for who they are. The girls then try to educate Bunny on fighting crime, whether who's the police and who is the criminals. And things turn sour when Bunny accidentally releases the criminals and forces the police into jail cells. And because of this, the girls angrily reprimand Bunny for terrible actions, sending the poor girl into a massive fit of tears and running away. Or in this case, flying away in shame. And the girls who feel terrible about yelling at Bunny gets assaulted by the criminals.
Oh no! The girls are getting pummeled by every villain in Townville!
And the narrator desperately calls Bunny for help, who is now a sobbing, blubbering mess. And when she realizes the girls are in trouble, she has to do one final good act. Save the day. And after successfully pummeling all the criminals in Townsville, she feels happy and successful, but not until she starts to explode, resulting in a heartbreaking conclusion for the girls and the viewers. And the narrator too, we can't forget about him. And the girls gleefully look at what's left of Bunny. Just a piece of cloth. And this was a really tough episode to watch, for a lot of people. Just the very idea of a Powerpuff Girl dying to instability. It's just so dark and depressing.
And I can't take it. So, for the first and final time, the day is saved. Thanks to Powerpuff Bunny!
Well, those are my picks for the darkest episodes in otherwise cheery cartoons. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Out of everything in this list, what do you consider to be the darkest episode? And explain in your words on why. And I might be considering making a part 2 on this. And if you're interested, please comment down for a part 2. And toodles!
Peel the avocado.